This is Astronomy Daily Live, and it is 2:01. Oh my God, it's 2:01 UTC. Man, I'm just being a slacker, right? Big slacker, not getting on here at 2 hours UTC. Man, yeah. It just, there's always these couple of things that I forget to do until the last minute, and then it's like, oh man, it's 1:59, and I still have to do blah 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 blah. So yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome. Come on in to this ever growing circle of friends. And speaking of ever growing, I noticed that I now have 93 subscribers. 93, which is, relatively speaking, that's pitiful, right? I mean, in terms of YouTube, um, but um, but I also know that one of those subscribers is probably you, right there. You, yeah, you, that one right there. So thank you. I think it's extremely awesome. Um, the there there are certain things that I've observed about YouTube over the years, and I've actually been on or uh, um, either been on or have watched YouTube since it started, right? Since it started, which was I want to say around 2007, 2006, 2007, something like that. And uh, yeah, I mean what it's all about is um, you know, of course, relatively decent content. But having said that, they're the quote unquote most popular things, which I don't watch. Right, I'm sort of uh, um, oh, what's the word? I mean, if if that way is towards the popular thing, I'm going to go the opposite way because I just don't want anything to do with it at all, right? So there's a particular term for that. I'm going to pop up my chat here and say hi to Bobby and Tom. Um, what was Bobby? What was your question on Discord? Let me go over right now and look. Oh, can you put a link of the live stream? Sure. Why don't you put it in the channel links to awesome? Links to awesome instead of the live stream chat. That is just a suggestion, but but yeah, look, I I I trust all of you on that Discord server, right? So if whatever you want to post, um, feel free, right? I mean, if there's something, I mean, I I'm not one of those who sort of look for things to be like offended and all of that. And uh, it's extremely rare for for me to get offended, um, because I kind of think that it's like you know if I want to be sort of afforded the kind of freedom that I desire, that I would really like to be able to do anything I want, anything at all. But the kinds of things that I want to do are really, really cool, fun things, right? Um, I'm not interested in harm. I'm not interested in um, making others look bad, or any of that. I don't consider that fun. So, but it's sort of the golden rule, right? um, if I want to be treated a certain way, then I have to treat you all a certain way, and 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 so I'm uh, well, I studied law for at least a couple of years, totally on my own, right? But one of the things that I really, really like, and tend to follow very, very closely, is this idea of innocent until proven guilty, right? So what that means is, there it is. What that means is that I'm going to assume that all of you folks uh, are are decent, and not going to do anything that is going to um, upset anyone, right? So yeah, I trust your judgment when it comes to posting things on my server. I greatly appreciate it. When you ask, I think that is very, very cool. I think that's very, very cool. And um, you know, um, if you're not sure, then go ahead and ask, right? No problem. And just like now, it's like, yeah, go for it. Let's just maybe put it in the appropriate slot, right? And if um, I'm sort of, man, I cannot talk tonight. So, sort of expanding on that a little bit, if you have any suggestions in terms of channels that I should either add to, or delete from, or edit on my server, let me know. Because I mean, one of the things, getting back to YouTube here, is that one of the things, right, is that I want to get better and better and better at this. I mean, being a musician, right? That's sort of where that desire um, comes from. I mean, when you're a musician, you really do need to be practicing every single day so you can get better and better and better, right? Well, here it is. Here it is. I am practicing to get better at this, and you know that is definitely a secondary thing. The number one thing is that I am sharing the passion, right? Sharing the passion for this amazing universe, right? So cheers. I've got the hydrogen hydroxide again tonight. HOH, amazing molecule. Mm, that's not even a fresh batch, and it's still really tasty. Amazing. An amazing molecule. Anyway, I've got 93 subscribers. Oh, we have a new person on the chat. Um, Atawa Hinta? Cool. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you've heard a lot about me, well, I'm sorry about that. Uh, yeah, well, I guess it depends on who you ask whether I'm a cool guy or not. I think that's a matter of opinion, and but yeah, stick around. I'm glad you're here. I was just talking about um, my subscribers, and I noticed that you subscribed the other day, and that got me up to 93. Now, as I said, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of YouTube, that's pitiful, right? I mean, that's really really sad. Um, but as I said, one of those is you right there, right there. So thank you. And I've been trying to think because I think it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable that I'm going to get up to 100 subscribers, right? And what a lot of YouTubers do, right, is at these, sort of arbitrarily chosen um, numbers, like 100, 100, right? Uh, so I was trying to think what should I do when I reach 100 subscribers, right? What should I do when I reach 100? And what a lot of YouTubers do is they give things away. They give some kind of prize, um, or yeah, you know something like that. Well, you know, fact of the matter is that every pretty much everything that I have, which is not very much, I I am unwilling to give away. So what that would mean is it's like, okay, well, am I going to go out and like buy something so I can give it away? That seems a little, I don't, I mean, that's not me at all. Uh, so I want to reserve giveaways for something really interesting and exciting, right? One of the things that I definitely want to move into is um, reviews, right? Um, Reviews of like some kind of gear, right? I mean, be it a telescope or an eyepiece or a camera or a finder scope or any kind of astronomical gear, an astronomical book, anything to do with astronomy. I would like to review those things, and if those items are given to me, then I'm going to give them away. So that's just how it goes, right? That's just how I am. Even if I really, 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 really like it and may really, really, really want it, no, those things are given to me to share with you, and so those kinds of items I want to give away. So giveaways I want to sort of reserve for something like that, right? Um, yeah, yeah. I've I've got friends who are also um, accumulators, and I've got a friend. He's in his mid 60s, and he has things uh, from his grade school, right? And it's like, wow, that's amazing. I can't. I don't think I have anything from grade school, nor junior high. I do have something from high school. Something from high school. That is the first telescope I ever made, and in fact, the only telescope I ever had until about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I got this Celestron Nexstar 8SE because I wanted to start doing some serious observational science, and um, so yeah, right. I mean, I'm with you there. I barely remember grade school at all. I think I think that must have happened during one of my blackouts or something. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so what I've decided to do is when I when I have a maintained 100 subscribers, and I'm going to define that as if I have 100 or more subscribers for over a week, right? I mean, if that number can be maintained, because there's, I mean, even with the small kinds of numbers that I have, there's slight fluctuation, right? I mean, for me, it goes, down one and then up one and then down, So, I mean, small. So, but if I can maintain 100 subscribers for a week, then what I'm going to do then what I'm going to do is I am going to get a new camera. I'm going to get a new camera. Uh, probably, probably 99% chance it'll be better than this one. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna get a new camera, a new webcam, and I have absolutely no idea if it'll be any better or worse. But I don't think that it can get any worse. This this is literally a $5 webcam. It doesn't even have it has no name on it at all. Here, I'm looking around, right? The only thing that it says, the only thing that it says on it at all is 10x digital zoom f3.8 f3.85 millimeters, and there's a thing called megapixel 10x digital zoom f equals 3.85 megapixel. And that's all it says. And that's all it says. There's no other writing whatsoever. Wow. Okay. Well, very, very cool. Uh, Atawa Hinta, you have come to the right place. You have come to the right place. Um, I also have gone down, the cosmology and mathematics stream. I've gone about as far in mathematics as one can go, um, and in addition, I took that mathematics and wrote code for it too. So I can write code for differential equations and um, 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 complex analysis and all of that. So bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. That that'll add a really new and interesting flavor to this live stream. Uh, if we can, blow some people's minds, right? So let's get together maybe and do some interesting things because yeah, I am all about vector analysis and all of that. All that really cool mathematical things that sort of translate down to the astronomical stuff, right? Um, General relativity is all about and I haven't worked in mathematics in a while, so these terms aren't necessarily going to pop in my head tonight. Tensors, um, tensors, um, GR speaks in sort of the language of tensor calculus, right? So yeah, really awesome awesome stuff. So I'm glad you're here. You can add a little bit of spice, add a little bit of spice. Now, so anyway, that's what I think I'm going to do for the 100 subscriber. Uh, uh, what's that term? When you reach your particular goal, like milepost, right? So the 100 subscriber milepost, I am going to get a new camera. And yes, the spice must flow. The spice must flow. So, cheers. Cheers to all things spice. Nice to see you, Patrick. As you may have noticed over on my Discord server, and first of all, if you haven't gotten onto my Discord server yet, there's a link down in the description right now. I have to look at. Yeah, no, I think that'll work. I think that will get you there, and then I think you can pop on yourself. If not, I can send you an invite, or if um, Uncle Bill is in the chat, uh, um, uh, um, he can do it too. Oh, Atawa, I I brew this water. Water. This is not water. What's water? This is hydrogen hydroxide. And I brew this myself. Yeah. And uh, it is not easy. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Yeah. In in fact, I brew two different things. Two different things, right? Now my go-to brew is hydrogen hydroxide, HOH. But once in a while, maybe once or twice a week or so, I need a little boost, right? And I need a little bit of, extra oomph, right? And so I go for the dihydrogen monoxide, H2O, and that's a different beast than this. Let me tell you. So most live streams, it is HOH or so, and there's about 10 to the 23rd molecules in this mug. So I'm going to dispose of a few of those. Cheers. Don't you wish, Patrick? Don't you wish? Man, you know, if this was moonshine, uh, what I just drank would have like uh, melted me into the floor, right? so yeah, you only wish. You only wish. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for the 100 subscriber thing. Um, and yeah, get onto my Discord. I've been posting a little bit more of, I guess, what you'd call my artwork over there. After watching um, Tony's deep deep astronomy um, coffee hangout yesterday, it got me inspired to go back over to the planetary data system and look for some more data. Look for some more data to do something with, right? So I mean, what I tell everybody, right, is that I cannot draw for shit, right? I mean, there's just, you know, and I I understand that, really everybody can draw, right? But if I want to draw particular things, that's where I fail. I mean, I can doodle and all that, and in fact, there's a really great. I think he does live streams on Twitch, and then he also has a YouTube channel. Check out Peter Draws. Peter Draws. Now, I'm old enough that I can call this person a kid. He's a kid. He's probably I think he's maybe about 25 or 26 or so, and he draws, right? He takes, um, you know, he takes a pen and he takes paper and he draws. He doesn't call it drawing, okay? He calls it doodling, right? But I mean, he's been doing this his entire life, so he's gotten very good, and he's the type that can draw anything, right? I mean, if he sees, and I mean, he's done this, right? I mean, he's um, gone out um, and stood in front of a house and has drawn the house, and it looks like a photograph, right? So I mean, he can draw things, but what he prefers is just sort of you know line of thought doodling, right? Um, and a lot of artists do that, right? I mean, in my music, I will do that too, right? I mean, I will doodle out a sound, and I'll record it, and then I'll doodle out another sound, and I'll mix them and all of that. Anyway, we're getting way off topic. Um, so what I like to do, since I can't draw things, what I like to do, since I can write programs, right? I can write programs, I can write scripts. I can take sort of raw material, call it paint, call it some kind of drawing tool, you know, sort of the raw materials, and I can write a program to do the drawing for me. And so, um, what I've been doing for at least a few years now, not anything incredibly serious, but sort of for fun, and when I'm in the mood, is that I'll go over to the Planetary data system, and we're going to go over there tonight, and I'll sort of show you a little bit of what I do to sort of mess around, and so I go over there and I look around, and I'm looking for data, right? And now this can literally be anything, okay? Anything. Um, because I'm going over to PDS, Planetary Data System, that that data is primarily from spacecraft that either have been or are, right? So um, I can get Viking data, I can get Voyager data, I think I can get Pioneer data. I think, pretty sure, Pioneer data. Um, all all the Mars data is there. Um, all the Jupiter data from Juno, from um, Galileo, all the Cassini data. And it's not only the data like the science data, it's all the telemetry. Now, maybe on that second point, it may not be all of it, but I'm pretty sure that the telemetry is also greatly available as well. Maybe not at PDS, but at some other sites. Anyway, so I went over there the other yesterday, I guess, and grabbed some more data from the Juno spacecraft. there's an instrument on Juno that's called the flux gate magnetometer. And what it does is it measures the local, its local magnetic field strength in X and Y and Z, right? And I'm not quite sure what X, Y, and Z is in relation to Jupiter or the sun or anything else. I'm not exactly sure um, what those axes represent. But what I am interested in is what those values are and how they change over time, right? So really, really, really interesting stuff, and I can actually take that data and using some really, really simple code. I just use I'm using Perl to parse the raw data files. It turns out that the data files for Juno's fluxgate magnetometer are just text files. They're just columns of numbers, right? Um, and well, I'll show you an example here um, tonight. It turns out that other spacecraft that have magnetometers on them, the data looks exactly the same. The format is exactly the same, and that's done on purpose, of course. So what I can do, right, and what I have been doing is taking these X, Y, and Z measurements of the local magnetic field and converting the X values to a red value, the Y numbers to a green value, and the Z numbers to a blue value. And then I combine R, G, and B, and that makes a color, right? And so yeah, that's sort of what I've been doing. I've made a couple of movies that I posted over on this channel. You can take a look at those. But yeah, there's all kinds of interesting things that can be done with this kind of data. So what I wanted to do tonight is just go over to the planetary data system and have a look around. If you've never seen this or you didn't even know that I mean, we're talking about terabytes and terabytes and terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of data that are freely available to anybody, right? And this is actually how you may have heard the news the other day that 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 they have a pretty good confirmation that that the Galileo spacecraft back in 1997 flew through some kind of a plume of material um, uh, when it was on a close approach to Europa, and yes, yes, Juno has a a device similar to a flux capacitor. Very, 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 very close. Um, so, all right. Anyway, um, so yeah, it's a great site. Let's go over there. Oh, okay, yeah. What I was saying about that was that these scientists actually went to the PDS and grabbed the data right there that they used, to match their models and to confirm, that they think that Galileo flew through this plume uh, back in 1997. So it's 21-year-old data, and it's a fact. It's a fact that you know, all the data has sort of been examined, right? It's been checked, right? It's been looked at, right? But it hasn't necessarily been analyzed and scrutinized and scienced, right? But it's there. It's there for anybody, and so yeah, I don't know how long this is going to last, but I mean, there are some interesting opportunities there, both as a scientist, as and as an artist. Um, so yeah, there's some interesting opportunities there, and I need to I need to try to work on this a little bit more, because that would be an interesting thing to get into a little bit more. Yeah, but let's go over to the PDS and just look around. Just look around. This show, as I say, isn't necessarily about me trying to educate you or to communicate to you or anything like that. What this show is about is sharing a passion. Sharing a passion. So, cheers. So here it is. This is the Planetary Data System. It's very, very simple. PDS.nasa.gov, and there it is. This is the front page. This is the front page, and what I notice, right, is that there are ways to search. That I guess there are some tools that can be used. I need to look into that a little bit more. Um, So blah 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 blah. They have some data releases here. I guess Maven just came out with data release number 13. I had no idea, right? Um, Odyssey, Odyssey data release. Now, isn't Odyssey? I didn't think that Odyssey was still going. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. Back in April, also we had another Cassini data release, which I didn't know about either. Maybe I should get notified of new releases. And there's some previous releases here either. Let's see. This probably does the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Cassini, Odyssey, Juno, released back in March of this year. Um, LRO, MSL, which is the Cassini, um, not the Cassini, the Curiosity rover on Mars. Now this stuff is not going to be the latest and greatest data, right? At least not the latest. It might be the greatest, um, but um, this this data is has been gone through. It's been calibrated. It's been checked. It's been verified. To be sort of valid scientific data. So this isn't the raw stuff that you might find. That can be updated every single day, right? This is older stuff, right? Um, for instance, just as an example, right? Um, Curiosity, you can see um, the images that rover took of Mars from yesterday, right? So I mean, I think they're a day or so behind, and that's it, right? But let's see when data release 17, um, what 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 those dates actually are, right? So it was released in mid-March, which was a couple months ago. So you already know that it's a little bit old, right? But let's just see if there's anything here that may tell us. Now look at all this data that's available. This is the data release summary. So lots and lots and lots of data, lots of image data, video. Is there video? I forgot that there was video. Huh. That could be kind of interesting. Okay, so yeah, see, so release 17 includes data from sols 1448 to 1869. Well, we're up to, I think, sol, I think we're up to like 2060, right? So this is a couple of hundred. I mean, this is sort of year old data, but I'm sort of I wasn't going to go down this path, but I'm kind of intrigued by this video. So let's go over here and see what they're talking about. Because I don't think I've ever seen video from a spacecraft. Huh, okay. Well, what is this? Bulk download. Click to download product in detached lab. All right, let's click it. A disk. Oh, it's a disk image file. Huh. A disk image file? Okay. Let's save it. PDS wants to download multiple files. Am I going to allow it? Sure. Let's allow it. Oh, okay. I see. Right. This is the label. Okay. That's all right. Yeah. We can live with that. All right. Well, it looks like it's over there. So let's, man, this is going in a direction I wasn't planning on. I like it. Every single time I go on this thing, it's Tim. Tim, you're crazy. You're crazy, dude. Over there, it's like 3:44 a.m. Crazy. Thanks for coming in, though. We're looking at the planetary data system, and I was going to show you guys some magnetometer data from Maven, but I sort of got sidetracked. Sidetracked when I saw this this thing about video from Mars, and I'm just wondering, can I play this? I've got VLC player. Can I play an image file? Ooh, I don't know. Let's try it. VLC is pretty awesome. Will it play it? It's trying. Oh, yeah. You know, live streaming is for me is about following my nose. I'm not too stuck on that much of a pattern. This thing it's trying to load. It's trying. Oh, could not identify the audio or video codec. Oh, too bad. Too bad. So I'm gonna. It's interesting because it's playing something. Yeah, I know. I know. Maybe I have to update VLC. Not quite sure. It's playing something, but um, let's just let's really go crazy here and let this thing let this thing um, get the newest version here. So okay, I let's let's not go down this road mainly because that's sort of a stopping point, right? So let's go back. Let's go back. My point was is that this data isn't like the latest greatest up to the minute stuff, but this stuff that this data that's here is scientifically verified, right? Now Odyssey, what? See, let's just look at this really quick. I didn't think that Odyssey was still running. Odyssey. Oh, this is Mars Odyssey. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. Wasn't there an Odyssey a spacecraft that went around the sun? Oh, I don't remember now. Anyway, okay. Cool. Cool. Um, so so this So this is data from this thing called HEND and another instrument called the neutron spectrometer. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, but oh, that's not where I should go either. You know, I'm just going to get into big trouble because there's just too much cool stuff. All right, let's go over there and look. How's VLC doing? Yes. 2017 directory. Data products acquired January 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2017. Oh man, look at this. This is just, what is this? Oh my gosh. Oh man, I don't know what any of that is. Okay, let's just look at, I, okay, channel data 2017, there's a .lbl, which is like a label file. So we can actually look and see, think sort of what this thing is doing. Time series, channel data columns. Oh man. All right. Well, I'm not gonna get too much into that. Let's just look at one of these .dat files. It doesn't really matter which one it is. Let's just look at that one. Because if this is like a text file, then maybe I can, oh, this thing has to index itself again. There it goes. Come on. Let's see if this will open. .dat files. Yeah, let's use Notepad again. Notepad is awesome, isn't it? I don't know. Just my no, it's not in a very decent format. Looks like there's a little bit of text here, but then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay, well, we're gonna have to look and see what format these .dat files are in, because that's all it is. Okay, good. Another brick wall that I am just not going to climb. But you can see all this data. There's just tons and tons of data. It's crazy. It's really crazy. VLC is awesome. That's just my humble opinion. I've used VLC for quite a while, at least a decade, I would say. So what I was looking at, right? So here's the latest data release from a spacecraft that is orbiting Mars right now. It's called MAVEN. And MAVEN has a whole bunch of instruments on it, right? Including, even just event lists. Just event list. Wow. Let's let's look at these event lists really quick. This is crazy. Because I'm really interested in telemetry. So maybe that's what this is. So let's go into data. I'm just going to dive right in. I'm not going to read the instructions or anything. Events. So this collection contains the MAVEN mission events file, including events from the MAVEN Payload Operations Center events database and MAVEN science events. They've also got this IMU. This collection contains MAVEN inertial measurement unit data return files. Okay, let's just look at events. And these are all CSV files. Yay. Okay, so let's look at this first one, right? This happened. This file that we're going to look at goes from January 7th, 2014 at 18. Am I reading that right? Yeah, at 1802 UTC through. See, that's kind of strange. This timestamp and this timestamp don't match. All right, well, let's just go into the first one here. Oh, okay, these are really, really small. Anyway, it looks like these events go from December 1st of 2013 to November 15th of 2016. Wow. I have no idea what these are. I guess we're going to find out. MAVEN events. Oh, I forgot that I've got Excel on this machine. Well, let's use Excel. Okay, well, cool. Is this cool or what? Look at this. They're looking at I guess solar flares. Type B event peaked. First diffuse aurora observed on Mars, lasted for 5 days, and well correlated with SEP event. Yeah, so they're observing like solar flares from Mars. Description: maximum zonal temp at 25 kilometers exceeded 200 K at beginning. NH warning due to enhanced circulation caused by SH dust. Officially ended when zonal mean T temp, I guess, dropped below. Scroll over here. I'm trying to read the chat at the same time. Below 200K. Okay, all right. Well, whatever. Um, so this looks like just a bunch of solar flares, discrete aurora event over crustal magnetic field. Wow, that is very, very cool. All right, well, that's kind of interesting. No. Let's see. So why are there so many of these though? I don't know. They're in a weird order too. Let's just look at this one. This goes to maybe February 15th of this year. Tim, are you trying to behave? I don't recommend that. All right, I'm not going to run it, but I'm going to finish that, and then let's try to run that ISO again. Which one is it? Is it this one or IMG? Yeah. Let's just see if that update fixed the codecs. I doubt it. Nope. Could not identify the audio or video codec. I'll throw it into this program that I have called FFmpeg and maybe convert it. So yeah, it has a length 256, but there's just no video. Yeah, that sucks. Oh well. I'll figure that out though. That's something interesting. So I will figure that out. Let's look at this. Didn't I download another? Yeah, OPS events. Let's look at that. Open with Excel. Flux U. Okay, I have no idea here. Start of periaps orbital segment. Start of orbit 6074. Okay, well this is kind of interesting. Discussion. Step 2, attenuator disarmed. What is this? Spacecraft entered eclipse. Spacecraft exited eclipse. So how long does it take the spacecraft to go from starting an eclipse to ending an eclipse? So the start time was 11/15/2017 at 11:36:42, and the end was at 12:48. So it takes Maven what, an hour, almost an hour and 12 minutes go I guess behind Mars, be eclipsed by Mars. Huh, that's kind of interesting. I had no idea. Attenuator disarmed. Wow, there's just, I mean, look at all this. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Just events. That's very cool. I don't know if I can do anything with that though, but okay, all right. Let's look at oh Pat Patrick, it's .img .img. So yeah, who knows? I'm gonna have to look at the documentation to actually know what that means. Don't assume that it's anything standard, right? Don't assume that at all. NASA they have their own ways of naming things. So, all right. Well, what I was really going to go after was some flux gate magnetometer data, and that is also here. Okay, magnetic field vectors corrected for instrumental and spacecraft effects transformed into physically meaningful coordinates. So is this is the data that I've been looking at on Juno. And as I said, the format of these files is exactly the same. It's great. So let's go into data. And there are three coordinate systems that have been created here. One is called PC, which is the planetocentric coordinates. Then there's PL, which are the payload coordinates, and then there's SS, which are the sun state coordinates. So the sort of how I read that, right? Um, um, planetocentric is from a particular place on the surface of the planet itself. Um, Payload would be relative to the spacecraft in some way. And sun state is somehow, of course, related to the position of the sun. So what I've been looking at is I've been looking at the PC files, the planetocentric files. And sort of the way that I describe these is that, okay, we're standing at a particular location on the surface of the Earth, right? And as we look out into space, well, the Earth is rotating, right? It's rotating on its axis. And so as we stand here on the surface of the Earth, we see things go around us, right? They go in circles. And so the um, the data that comes down from Juno in this format is exactly that. The distances, if you plot the distances from the spacecraft to this planetocentric point, what you get is a spiral. I'll show you that. Okay, so they have some high resolution images, and they have apparently not images, but high res, high temporal resolution data, and they also have some 1 second data. So let's just look at the 1 second data, and look, we've got years here, so we can go all the way back to 2014. Has Maven really been up that long? Man, I'm getting old. I'm getting really old. I thought that it went up in, oh, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's look at the 2018 and just arbitrary choice. Yeah, I'm gonna for those IMG files. I'm going to use a Unix tool, Linux tool called FFmpeg, FFmpeg, and that is an incredibly powerful tool, and I may be able to convert it right to like an MP4 or AVI. So these are obviously months, right? January, February of this year. Um, if we were to go back to 2017, you would see most likely that all the months are there. Yep, 0 or 1 to 12. But let's sort of look at the latest here. FFmpeg, man, is incredible. It's unbelievable. Just look at the documentation for it, and you'll be blown away, right? Totally blown away. So this is sort of daily data, right? It goes from February 1st of this year at 0 hours to February 2nd at 0 hours. So, and as it said, I think this is like 1 second data, right? And they come in these files that are called .sts, which probably has some kind of meaning. Who knows, right? But they are text files. They're just regular old text files with numbers and columns, and that's it. So this is really cool, though, too. You know, the descriptions here. There's even more. Click on more. Okay. So this bundle contains mag-supplied ASCII files containing a time series of magnetic field vectors in geophysical units, nanoteslas, right? Um, that have been corrected for instrumental and spacecraft effects. So they've been calibrated. This is calibrated data. And it's been transformed into what they're calling physically meaningful coordinate systems. And in this case, as I said, it is the planetocentric coordinates. Cheers. Cool. Very, very cool. Um, Atawa Hinta. That's an interesting trick. So what what I'm saying is that the way that NASA defines an IMG file may not be sort of the standard um, um, IMG file, you know, that you're used to. So I'm going to have to look at the documentation, and you know, I'll mess around with it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. So anyway, we can download these, right? And I already have. I downloaded this one earlier, and so I've got it here. It's called Maven Mag L2 blah 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 blah, right? And we can open it. Now I've already edited this a little bit because I wanted to be able to plot um, some things. These files have a header, which sort of it's a lot like the FITS files, um, in that it just sort of describes the uh, the data. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah. So let's look at that first, really quick. We can look at it with Notepad. So this is just a whole bunch of information about this data, right? Um, it basically just describes each column, right? Each column. So let's see. On board. Okay, so here, yeah, okay, let's start at the beginning, I guess. So, right, so year, day of year, hour, minute, second, millisecond, and then a decimal day, right? And that's nice. So it gives a decimal day number. Then it gives the X, Y, and Z values in nanotesla, NT. So those are the magnetometer readings. Um, and then it gives an X, Y, and Z position in terms of kilometers according to that planetocentric thing. And it's got a um, few other numbers here too, which it's kind of interesting. I'm going to have to look at that a little bit more. But let's look at the actual data now, right? And then I'm going to let you go because, wow, we're already running over. It's unbelievable how fast time flies when you're having this much fun. So there it is. There is the actual data file. And as you can see, here's the decimal date. So this obviously was looking at February 1st, because that's day number 32. And here's the X, Y, and Z magnetometer readings. Here are the planetocentric X, Y, and Z distances. And then a bunch of these other numbers too, which I'm gonna have to look at a little bit more. But yeah, just tons. Oh, okay, it's wrapped. So now what I use to plot this stuff is a plotting program called GNU Plot. I'm gonna erase that. So this is free. It'll run on a Windows machine here. As you can see, that's what I'm running. And so what I'm going to do, see, each of these columns is a column number, right? 1, 2, 3. They're separated by white space, right? So here's column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the day number. And then 8, 9, and 10 are my magnetometer readings. There's 11, 12, 13, and 14 are the positions. Okay, so let's look at, we can do a 3D plot, right? We can look at columns 12, column 13, and column 14 with this command, right? So that just says, plot this file using these columns, and I'm just giving a line width and a line color. Line color 8 is black. So let's just look and see. This should be some kind of spirally thing. Oh, okay. Well, it's actually a lot more busy than what I expected. See, now I can rotate this around too. Isn't that cool? It's kind of slow. This machine is really being taxed, right? So what we're seeing here, right, is over the course of, wow, over the course of day, one day, we're seeing the motions of this spacecraft, right? So here is the X coordinate, here's the Y coordinate, here's Z. So, wow. Now, this path takes into account two kinds of motion, right? It's the motion of the spacecraft orbiting the planet, and it's the rotation of the planet itself. So that's probably why it looks as complicated as it is. What I can do is I can plot like the day number versus the x distance. And I just have to change this first command here to plot. So this is the x distance now versus day number, right? So this is one day's worth of motion. Yeah, that's a lot more complicated than what I thought it would be. Let's look at x and y over time. I'm not going to get into this too much because I could spend hours and hours and hours. Okay, so this is the, oh, let's do this a different way. Let's do it, let's make time be the z-axis in our plot. Okay, so that's what Maven is doing. Oh, kind of a cool pattern. I'm going to have to get some more of this data and draw it out a little bit more because, wow, I'm seeing some interesting apparent motion there, right? I mean, this is, as I said, I mean, it's a combination of the orbital motion of Maven going around Mars and the fact that Mars rotates underneath Maven. So you get this really, really complicated kind of motion. But let's look at the actual magnetometer readings now. That's what you've all been waiting for. So let's do exactly the same thing. What did I say this was? This was column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so let's look at like 8 and 9, which are the X and Y magnetic field strength versus time, which will again be in the z-axis. Ooh, come on! I'm trying to rotate you. Ah, interesting, huh? Kind of interesting. So this is time, right? It starts at the bottom and moves up, but you can see that the magnetometer readings, wow, that's really that's kind of interesting and bizarre. I have no idea how to interpret that whatsoever. But these are measurements of the local magnetic field as taken by the Maven spacecraft as it orbits Mars. So I don't know what any of that means. Should we look at X, Y, and Z with no time, just all the data, 8, 9, and 10? Let's look and see what that looks like. Probably a rat's nest. Is that it? That's it. Well, I got the thing flipped upside down here. There we go. So that's 1 day's worth of data. And all these values that you see are in units of nanoteslas. Sorry, this is really jerky. My poor computer, my poor laptop. So very cool, very cool. Let's look at just the uh, the X magnetic field strength versus time, and then I'm going to let you go because, as I said, I could spend all night looking at this stuff. I've never looked at Maven data before, so this is completely new to me too. I've been looking at Juno data for like a year, so it's actually nice to get a little bit of change. Okay, Well, you know, what I'm seeing is sort of this periodic, um, very, very periodic little blip that changes in intensity, but is pretty regular, right? And this is, of course, time down here. So what? This is 32.1 ish. This is 32.3. So that's two tenths of a day, 2/10 of a day, um, an Earth day. That's 4.8 hours. It's about 4.8 hours, a little bit less, right? A little bit less, maybe 4.7 hours. So every 4.7 hours, um, the magnetic field strength in the X direction goes through a little bit of a blip. Let's look and see if that's the same in the Y direction. Yeah, seeing the same kind of thing. Same kind of thing. Should also see it in the Z direction then. That's the Z direction. Yeah, so we're seeing these blips, and I guess we did sort of see it. Yeah, well, when we initially looked, when we looked this way at X and Y versus time, I guess we did see that, yeah, we were getting these periodic blips like that every like 4.7 hours or so. So I guess, you know, my question is, it's like, okay, why am I seeing these periodic things? Um, I don't know what the orbital period of Maven is. Um, are they orbiting every 4.8 hours? And so they're sort of going, yeah, I don't know. See, I mean, that's I've begun the process of science, right? It's like, okay, I'm seeing this and I'm coming up with, you know, some hypotheses to figure out what is going on here, because there's yeah, that's really complicated, you know. Seriously complicated motion there. Look at that. That's crazy. Well, not motion, right? This is magnetic field strength. Look at like X versus Z versus time. You see about the same thing. Yeah, I think it's about time for us to exit here, because otherwise I'm going to be here all night long. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a introduction to the planetary data system. I mean, there's just so much there. It's unbelievable, right? I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's all so very, very cool. It's one thing that I've never, well, out of many, many things that never done, but I've always wanted to be um, um, part of a spacecraft team. Haven't done that yet. Haven't done that yet. Probably never will. But this is almost as good. You know, having access to all that data. That's that's awesome. That's very, very awesome. So, all right, I am yes, I am definitely being called by the mothership. So I've got to get back up there, and yeah, I guess I will take off for now. We've run a little bit long. That's okay though, because we're talking astronomy and sharing a passion. So I'm glad all of you came in. Tim, you're a crazy man. You're crazy, but I'm so glad you're here. Um, Spread the word. Um, Bang the thumbs up. or the thumbs down. I actually got a thumbs down on yesterday's live stream, and I don't blame the person for doing that, because that was just a, yeah, you know, you have good days, you have bad days, whatever. Um, but this is a pretty normal day, normal. So yeah, PDS has me pretty excited, and I need to get over there a lot more, because I think there's a lot of interesting things, very interesting things. So all right, peace, cheers, and all of that. I will see you in about 22 and a half hours, 22 hours and maybe 34 minutes or so. All right. Take care, everybody. I will see you on the spin tomorrow, same time, same place, 2 hours UTC. Be there. All right. Bye.